Hello everyone, it's Mike from Chess Lifestyle, and today we are training 61 minutes of chess. And we are doing more Woodpecker method. I have to say, I am absolutely shattered. I had a super long day. And really, like many of these streams, it really is the last thing that I want to do to train these tactics. But at the end of the day, since I'm still an active chess player, active tournament player, I hate blundering even more. And the fact that I put in this work means I blunder less, makes this all worthwhile. So we're going to do an hour of training. Welcome Rando to the stream. Just so you guys know, I won my league match on Monday when I was running out of time, as always, and walking towards my league match. So managed to win that game. It was a very clean game. I was never worse in the whole game. C3 Venom. I made like a bunch of inaccuracies and I learned some new things, but maintained the control and didn't let it slip. So beat a 2000 player, which I'm very happy with. Rando says, I just finished 1 hour of Woodpecker myself. I started doing 1 hour a day. Let's go. Like genuinely, it's going to make such a difference in your chess. It really will. It really is. Like, I reckon probably plus 100 elo. Like, just if you keep this up for like a month even. But it's one of those things that if you are a player that blunders a lot, which unfortunately I think we both are, we just got to keep it going. And for me, it's like, I will not stop this until I stop becoming an active tournament player. Because I've set a standard for myself now, which I'm not willing to compromise on. And there is no substitute. To putting in the work. So we're gonna keep putting in the work, and let us any notifications for me? No. Okay, let's keep going then. Let's keep going. Also, Rando, where were you at the Liverpool Chess Club yesterday? I didn't see you there. What was your excuse for not getting extra training? Thoughts on the Snake Benoni? Why on earth would you play Snake Benoni when the real Benoni exists? Like, I love the bishop on g7, and it makes so much sense with the opening because you have a majority on the queen side, and the bishop supports that majority from afar. So, yeah, I just play modern Benoni, but I do like the fact that it's like offbeat, and I've never really understood like the point of it. But if there is a point, then probably that's a reason to play it. Just found out FIDE rating is so inflated in Hungary. Is that really the case? I know that they have a lot of those like kind of dodgy invitational IM norm, GM norm tournaments, but I always found that they're not as dodgy as people make them out to be. Like, they're way dodgier, you know? So, well, what made you say that, Lucas? Should go try and get CM there? Yeah, I've never been to Hungary actually. I think I've been to like Budapest for like a day or something. Ocarina of Time music. I'll have to take your word for it, Peter, because I actually never played Zelda, and this is one of the biggest childhood regrets. And it's not really a regret, it's just like I just got unlucky. Like, you know when you're a kid and your parents just buy you random games? Like, I had Pokemon, I had like Mario games, but I just never got Zelda. Maybe I just had the wrong friends that weren't enlightening me with playing such a game. I know I would have loved it. I would have absolutely loved it. And a part of me is like tempted to like, get one of the games and just play it, but it's just like I just don't have the time. I don't have the attention span to just play a game. Like, I'd feel too guilty that I'm not doing Woodpecker, right? If I'm busy playing Zelda. So, yeah, okay. I was playing a match on Monday, so I was tired on Tuesday. I played a match on Monday, and I was there on Tuesday. And I feel like you learn so much at the club. Like, you got to, like, work for it. Like, I played a bunch of friendly games, but I also brought a chess book, which I trained. And there was also a new guy at the club who brought a small book on endgame studies. And we did an endgame study together. And even though I was nowhere near getting the complete answer, I still got one aspect of the answer correct, which I'm quite proud of. So you just take every opportunity to learn. Like, one day you're not going to have that opportunity, so you just take every single opportunity that you can to play and improve. And yeah, you should be there, Randy. Like just show up and bring a book. If you're feeling antisocial, then just train a book in silence. But like use it as an excuse to train. Like just keep training. Never played it either, but seen enough speedruns. I see. Yeah. Actually, the last game... Okay, I'm getting very distracted. I need to actually work. Speaking of training myself, I'm being super hypocritical. But the last speedrun not speedrun, but like a kind of like YouTube series I watched of a game was Persona 4. Like, I've never played the Persona games, but I really love the aesthetic of it. And yeah, Persona 4 was a vibe. Like, I didn't finish the whole game, but like the whole premise of it was like kind of cool. Like the premise is like you're playing a character in this like village in Japan, and it's like a murder mystery. Like kids in the village are disappearing, and you're trying to like work out why. And it turns out that there's like some, I guess, like parallel world taking place where like people are getting kidnapped into that world and shit. I don't know. It was very cool. I found it pretty cool. Okay, Lucas, you're actually in Hungary now, and you're playing. Are you playing like a tournament or something? That's awesome. Yeah, 2,500 is a bit of a stretch, but maybe 2,200. Fair enough. Study for your GCSEs. Yo, but your GCSEs are like literally a whole year away. Like, chill. You'll be fine. Okay, let's get into this since I procrastinated enough. We're still on Mikhail Tal, but now we're looking at a Kera's win, so we can find Kera's moves. Black to play. So we've got Queen, Rook, Rook, Bishop, Bishop, Knight, Queen, Rook, Rook, Bishop, Bishop, Knight, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we're a pawn up. What to note about the position? Knight is attacking our Queen, Queen is attacking our Knight. Maybe we have options to like be spicy. Got some X-ray pressure here. The Knight actually has no safe retreat squares. Knight is loose on c6. Bishop is loose. Bishop is loose. Rook is loose. So okay. With all this in mind, what can we try? So I'm wondering, like, if we play Queen c7, for instance, and they take the knight and we take. Is this really enough? Probably not, right? So another thing I'm noticing is when they take, maybe this is like potential for a skewer. And maybe if they take with the king, their king is too exposed. So okay, Queen c7 is an option. Queen b6 is an option. I guess Queen d7, Queen e8 are also options. Can't move the knight to attack the queen. We could give a check though. Could take on h3 with check, so that's an option. Maybe set up a pin as an option. Bishop g4, potentially. Okay, so with all of this in mind, let's narrow it down to knight h3. What does this do? Let's say they just take back. Well, now I could give the check. They could block or something, and then I take. So at least I've won a pawn back that way. Knight h3, they cannot take with the queen because my bishop is here. And I assume that if they take here, I could probably... I don't know if I can trap that knight, actually. But still, like... I mean, again, at the very least, I guess I could even just play queen check and pick up the knight. So knight h3 is promising. I wonder if there's better though. Queen c7, queen takes f2, queen takes c6, and then they just move the light squared bishop. And I don't think we've got anything there. Queen b6. If they go queen takes f2. Again, nothing better than just taking on c6. So I guess knight h3 looks like the best option we've found. I think I'm happy enough to play it. Wait, am I? What if I take on h3 and they just move the king? Let's say they play king h2. That's a problem. But then again, I can always attack the knight again. Maybe a move like queen c7 this time, because we've got pressure here. And if they try and take my knight on h3, I still take their knight. They can move their knight back to b4, but now my queen is no longer attacked and I can move my knight to safety as well. So I think knight h3 is still winning. Let's play it. Oh, and they do play king h2. So I think my move was queen c7. This makes most sense to me. You know, the knight can't move and attack our queen. Am I tripping? What is wrong with queen c7? Queen c7, they have e5. Is it going to be to do with my rook being weak? If bishop e5 and they take here, then I can take here and I'm better. But if bishop e5 and they take with the rook, who's going to look... What a move. Bishop a5 and e4. Takes, and check. Yeah, what is this? What is this mess? That is ridiculous. And the move is bishop e5. So bishop e5 was not on my radar. e5 was not on my radar. If knight takes e5, if knight takes e5, we cannot. If knight takes e5, we cannot just take back. Oh, maybe we can because we reveal the queen on the bishop this way, right? So if they take my knight, then I can take their bishop. Well, take with the pawn, sorry, because the bishop is covering the square. But yeah, that's a real shocker. Let's see what you guys are saying. Yeah, Toby, that's pretty accurate. Yeah, I can get distracted quite easily. But play Persona 4. It's a good game. Or at least watch the walkthrough on YouTube. It's fun. I think this should be knight takes h3 and queen b6 check. Yeah. But if king h2... Oh, okay. So Peter saw this line as well, but after queen b6, e5. So yeah, thought that it's complicated. So bishop e5 is very clever. Oh, that's crazy, Safsara. 40 points away from 2500 in Blitz. I'm too scared to play. Right. Yeah, no, 2500 Blitz is like a real flex. I would watch my video on YouTube, the one where it's like the top 10 tips to reach 2500. And even though that was a video for reaching 2500 rapid, I still think some of the tips will be relevant. Like literally, just to give you a couple, like waking up and wanting to play and being like, is it more likely that I'm actually going to gain points today? Because there's so many days where you just play and you know that you're going to have a bad day. And it's like, just don't do that. So wait till you're like really, really like feeling it and then go for it. But also apply the Caius rule. Like you don't want to get to 2460 and then drop like 100 points. Yeah, it's like, yeah, apply the Caius rule. Probably listen to some music that makes you play fast enough. Probably warm up on an ult, do some tactics. Like there's so many things you can do to like get in the zone. Yeah, bishop e5 is such a weird move to play because the whole point is that this knight is like, you know, your counterplay, and then you're basically allowing it to trade off for a completely unrelated tactic on the d file. That's, yeah, really tough to see. It's the kind of move that's easier to find in a game, I think, because like you might already be like kind of aware of this e5 push for some time. But very, very hard in a puzzle. Yeah. Okay, let's move on. This was a hard one. Safsara says, I tried getting 2400 Blitz on my main and got to 2397, then went down 100. Exactly. Yeah. Why do you care about online rating? Good question, Toby. I would say that, I mean, to quote one of my videos, I basically argue the fact that online is potentially a stronger representative to your actual level than an over the board rating. Because the thing is, with over the board, you can't play necessarily enough games, and also there's a lot of fluctuation in terms of who your opponents might be, right? Like if you play FIDE tournaments in India versus playing in Germany or something, there's a big difference. Whereas online, you're basically playing the whole world constantly, and it kind of averages out. So it's kind of like an accurate gauge of where your chess is at. And I think every opportunity you can take to play serious chess improves your chess. So if you basically just treat online chess as a joke, and then you play a lot of online chess anyway, then you're just building bad habits. But if you actually take the online chess seriously and try and play your best and try and push your rating and reach a new peak, then you're practicing that intensity, practicing that effort that you ultimately need for over the board. That's the philosophy anyway. Online rating fluctuates so often, well then play in a way that you don't fluctuate. Apply the Caius rule. If you don't know what the Caius rule is, you need to know the Caius rule. Caius rule prevents big fluctuations. Yeah, that's true. You're right that many people online aren't playing the chess seriously, so your rating might be inflated, right? Because let's say if half the people don't take it seriously and you're one of the ones that take it seriously, you're gonna have a higher rating than those that aren't. But it's not really about you compared to others, it's you compared to yourself, right? That distribution of people taking it seriously or not is not going to change, But what can change is your own level. So if you have peaked at 2400, taking it seriously, and then you work hard and you peak at 2500, that is a tangible improvement. Okay, I saw a potential answer in chat. So yeah, yapping too much. Let me try think about this. So okay, queen rook rook bishop knight, queen rook rook bishop knight. What I will say, just to clarify though, I don't take all my online chess games seriously. It's it's also a lot of headspace, and sometimes I just want to have fun. Is that simple? So basically I try to have at least one rating that I take somewhat seriously and try and push. Even if the other ratings I don't care as much about. So for instance, right now it's probably rapid. I'm trying to only play when I'm in the zone and have the time and I'm serious. So I've got a rapid rating of 25 something right now. But for instance, let's say my blitz rating, because I'm playing these chess mood Grand Prix and berserking and that rating I just stopped caring about. Which I think I will start caring at some point. But yeah. You also don't want to, let's say, try and use blitz as a metric for your strength when you're playing these Grand Prix and just dropping 100 points every time you play a Grand Prix because everyone is underrated playing them. That doesn't do you any good either. So yeah, anyway, that's my thoughts on it. So okay, Tao against Matanovic. We've got queen rook rook bishop knight, queen rook rook bishop knight, 1 3 4 5 6, 1 3 4 5 6. Okay, so equal material. We've got this passed d pawn that's isolated. Yeah, what to note here? So we've got some x-ray pressure on the rook, x-ray pressure on the bishop, x-ray pressure on the rook, pressure on f7, pressure on g6. King somehow feels weak because his knight is so far away. Maybe they've got pressures on us we need to be a bit careful about. Pressure here. We've also got potential to push this pawn. Knight is being attacked. Probably should have spotted that earlier. Okay, so any loose pieces as well? I mean, yeah, this guy's loose, and that's about it. We've also got a window, so that's good, but maybe there's some pressure here. As I said already, this feels weak. The rook on e7 is loose as well. Okay, so let's look at all of our candidates. Do we have any checks? No. Do we have any captures? Yes, we got knight takes f7, we got bishop takes g6, we got rook takes e5. Okay, do we have any threats? d6 is a threat. Knight e4 is potentially a threat. Queen h5 is potentially a threat. Probably terrible. Maybe a bishop move with a discovery is a potential threat. So any of these moves are potentially threats. Anything else? Maybe knight e6 is a threat. Maybe f4 is a threat. Okay, so with all of this in mind, let's start looking at our candidates. So let's start with the captures. Bishop g6 looks promising because we reveal the attack on the queen. They can play queen takes rook and just go for a big trade. And we can save the bishop with check, but the problem is after king h8, both these pieces are still being pressured. So it feels like we would lose material there. What about knight f7? Knight f7, if they take with the king, then we take with the bishop and then we win the queen. And how much material have we given up there? So in the starting position, it's equal. We're down a knight for a pawn, and then we'd get 2 pawns for a knight and bishop. But then we win the queen, and they win our rook. So rook and 2 pieces against a queen and 2 pawns. Not completely clear, but our king is very weak. Don't see an immediate follow-up there. Maybe we've got d6 at the end, right? Knight f7, king f7, bishop g6, king takes g6, rook c7, rook d7, d6. Knight c7, queen, knight d6, queen d6, and then they need to move. Oh, and that even comes with check even. So that's completely winning then. Okay, so knight f7, they can't take on g6. If we give this check, and if they move anywhere else, we win the queen. So knight f7, that means they have to take with the rook. But here, what if we still go bishop g6? In this position, if they try and throw in takes on our rook, we take on f7, and then we're winning. Right? Are we winning? Knight f7, rook f7, bishop g6. So we've won 2 pawns. We then win a rook. Take. So we're threatening to play rook c7. They can probably play a move like knight d6. And what's happening there? I don't know if that's enough to be winning. So knight f7, rook f7. Do we have alternatives? Could try throwing in d6. So what? Knight f7, rook f7, d6. I guess queen takes d6 is possible though, so probably not. Knight f7, rook f7, bishop g6. Queen takes c1, bishop takes f7, king f7. Ooh, what if I then throw in... I need to be careful where I give the check. Not f3 because they can block, but maybe I can go queen h5 check. Maybe I go queen h5 check, because then... wherever the king moves, I then take the queen, and then... What's the material there? I'm running out of time. I didn't get to look at all my candidate moves, but definitely it feels really promising, so I think let's go for it. Okay, so they took with the rook. So my logic was, if I go bishop takes, and they go queen takes here, I can take with check, king takes, and then go queen check. King will move somewhere, let's say g7. And then I can take the queen and the rook takes back. But is that enough to be winning? So how have we managed to... I guess what we've really done is we've won an exchange and then traded 2 rooks for a queen. But we're already down a piece in the starting position. Did I say that? I feel like this whole time I didn't think that I'm down a piece. So that makes a huge difference. That's really bad. How did I get the material so wrong? Like, white's literally got a pawn for a piece. I don't think I remember saying that. So okay, yeah, like bishop g6 takes here, takes queen check. Looks very promising. King g7, we take the queen, they take back with check. Go king h2. It is annoying how it's their turn to move. But how do they secure their position? Like rook e1 or something? Just feel like the queen is too powerful. And just to double check like this bishop g6, queen takes, bishop takes, king takes, queen takes, rook takes, rook takes. And I was saying 96 here. Does look fine for black. I did consider throwing this in, but I didn't think that helped. Yeah, I think this is the best I've got. Wow, it just stops there. Classic. So bishop g6, if queen c6, then takes, wins the queen, but I mean, wins the queen is such a lazy comment, bro. That's crazy. Axel Smith with the lazy annotations, who would have guessed? King g7. Oh, and you've thrown queen e5 first. Rook c1, queen, king h2 is still winning though. And this is what I said, I felt like the queen was just too powerful. Yeah, trying to enter like this. This was a thought of mine. I just didn't say it out loud. This queen h4. But yeah, queen f3 also strong, so yeah, fair enough. I guess with the king so weak, it doesn't make sense. So in this position, queen d6 is a better try. But then I guess we just take on f7. I mean, that king's weak, right? So, what does it say? Queen c8, rook c8, bishop c8, queen c2. Fair. Double attack on the bishop and h7 square. Nice. But yeah, at least we saw most of that. If king takes bishop g6, this is what I said, right? Yeah, let me just double check that whole line with d6 was correct. It takes rook c7 and then d6, yeah. Okay, good. Nice, okay. We can move on then. Let me check how people are doing. I saw a funny comment, but I'll get back to that one. Oh god, we have to scroll back a long, long way. I don't know, like, okay, so I've got back to where Toby starts his comment saying, like, it's not about accuracy, though, it just doesn't matter, it holds no relevance. Like, what does matter? What does matter to you? Like, does over-the-board chess rating matter to you? Or does that also hold no relevance and not matter either? Like, what actually matters to you, Toby? I'd be curious. Welcome, man-made, to the stream. Sorry it took me so long, I was just focusing on the puzzle. What is the Caius rule? What did he do? The Caius rule is a very, very smart way. I mean, Caius doesn't even like the fact that it's called the Caius rule, but he was the one who came up with it, so I want to credit him. But the point is that when you play online chess, you have some basically like stop-loss limits, which is normally used in like the stock market, but he basically used it and worked it out for chess ratings. So basically the way it works is if you gain 25 points in a day, you stop playing. And if you lose 25 points in a day, you stop playing. And if you are having a bad day, let's say you've tilted below like 15 points, 20 points or something, but you haven't gone as far down to go beyond that 25-point threshold, then if you recover your playing and you get back to even, or you get back into the positive, then you stop playing. And the idea of it is that as players, a lot of us are very prone to just extremely big tilts where we might lose like 100 points in a single session, and it's aimed to try and mitigate this, right? Because the worst case scenario, if you decide to play on an off day, which you shouldn't be doing anyway, but if you happen to, and you lose to the point of getting minus 25, then the worst case scenario is that you only lose 25. And normally, if you are like trying to only play when you're in a good mood, you've warmed up on an alt account, like you're listening to good music, like you've optimized your conditions, you shouldn't even be getting that minus 25 in the first place. So when I did this like religiously and properly with my ratings, that's when I was hitting peaks. So I think it's really, really useful, this Kai's rule. Knight f7, let's go. Exactly, man-made, good stuff. CM is a fake title. Yo, if I get CM, I'm gonna milk it. I'm gonna tell everyone I'm a master. I don't care anymore. Actually, yeah, Banmei, if you think CM is easy, what's the path to CM? If it's easy, then can you give me the easy steps? Can you summarize it in a comment? I want to hear what's the easy path to CM. Clash trophies mean more than online rating. Oh dear. Yeah, when I'm trying to analyze, I try to ignore the chat. Queen h5, king g7, queen e5 is important. I remember the engine saying that, like, you didn't have to play queen takes e5, but yeah, it does look good. Welcome fast to the stream. Yeah, we're doing some Woodpecker as always. Well, I fell off from 2860 to 2650, so I should follow that. Yeah, no, Kai's rule is goated. The path to CM is to farm Europe. I played 17 games, I drew 16 and won 1 against like, and gained. Oh, against players 150 points higher rated than me, right. Oh, you're saying gains, not against, okay. And gained 150 rated points, okay. Fair. Well, were you K20 or K40? Because to draw 16 and win 1, to gain 150 points, that sounds very K40 to me. But I mean, okay, like, I guess it is harder. It is harder for a K20 because let's say you gain 75 points, not 150, and that brings you to like 21-25. I mean, then you need to start winning rating as a 21-25 as opposed to a 20-50. Yeah, K40. Right. That makes more sense. Yeah, I think it's going to be a long grind for me. I think 2200 FIDE is going to be really tough. But yeah, we'll just keep training and hopefully eventually get there. We'll just have to think of it that way. Gaining like 10 points every draw, yeah. I mean, if you're not losing any games, it does help a lot. But yeah, okay, let's go against Queen, Rook, Rook, Knight, Bishop. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we really do have equal material this time. What is that to note? It's a Sicilian type position, Strashnikov style. Bishop on f5 is being targeted. Knight on g5 maybe has some menacing looking squares, but it's only the knight. There's no other pieces attacking. Anything else to note? Maybe the rooks are a bit exposed. The f6 square is a bit exposed. So like knight f6 kind of ideas. So basically, in this position, it's about whether we move the bishop or do we find a counterattack that is sufficient. And yeah, let's look at our candidates. So what checks do we have? We've got knight e7, knight f6. What captures do we have? We've got bishop takes g6. What threats do we have? We've got h4, we've got f4. Maybe bishop d7? You know what? Just because it's so cute, let's just calculate it real quick. Bishop d7, it traps the rook. If queen takes d7, there's knight f6. So that looks pretty legit. Bishop d7, what else can they try? What if they play knight takes e4, bishop takes e8? They cannot take back because we've got knight f... No, we don't, because there's a knight on e4. But still, we've won the exchange and that's probably good enough. So bishop d7. Okay, nice. So this is why... I mean, we just take that, right? But I mean, this is why you look at all your candidates first, because if you just start, like, tunnel visioning some lines, it just wastes so much time when there might be a winning candidate. So, I mean, bishop e6, pawn e6. Do I have a good square for the knight? Maybe knight b6 I quite like, because knight b6, I was thinking maybe we can circle around and pressure the pawn, but I guess the bishop on f8 is doing a fine job of defending. Bishop takes e6, pawn e6. What's the best move? Knight b6, knight e4. Maybe we can win the e6 pawn, right? Maybe bishop e6, pawn e6. Sorry. Knight b6, knight e4. Maybe we could go queen g4? Hitting e6, hitting the knight. If they try go knight c5, we can play b4. I think I'm quite happy with this. Okay, and he just stops there even. I mean, I'd want some kind of follow-up in this position. It looks like knight b6 is fine. Or even best. Knight e4, queen g4. Okay, good. I mean, there's a difference between plus 3.5 and plus 1. So, I mean, I guess one thing I could ask is, like, were there any alternatives to taking rook? If there's no alternatives, then I should just take it, I guess. And if rook e6. Yeah, I mean, potentially, you know, something like queen a4 and knight b6, but yeah, no, makes most sense to take. Okay, nice. How did people do? Yeah, Peter says, I gained 60 points in one tournament from K20. That's very nice. But I'd also say, like, I guess that's one way around it as well. Like, if you're K20, then just try to play multiple tournaments within a rating month. And if you're underrated, then that's another good opportunity to gain. But of course, you know, that plan can also work with K40. You'll just gain even more, which is what a lot of players do as well. Yeah, Manmay says he's max 1900 in India. That's so funny. But probably real. It is just that crazy over there. You can't consistently beat, like, 1700s. Like, you might just get a freak 1700 who's just, like, incredibly good. Yeah, bishop d7, good job, Peter. I played in Greece and Czech, that alright. Greece is not alright. It depends, I don't know, I think Greek players have incredibly underrated players. Like, super strong players. Not at the highest level, but, like, you know, that 1800 range. I think Greek players are incredibly strong. But yeah, I agree with the disparity being higher the lower rated you get. Like Indian 1600 beating European 1900, can believe it. Yeah, agree. Yeah, interesting stuff. Okay, let's try do some more training. Let's do the next one. Okay, Tau as white. I feel like these exercises today have been easier than the ones last stream. That ones last stream were ridiculous. So okay, let's have a think. We've got Queen, Rook, Knight, and 6 pawns. Queen, Rook, Bishop, and 6 pawns. We have a difference in pawn structure. We've got a 4v2, we've got a 3v2, and a pass pawn on e6. Our king is potentially vulnerable to back rank. These pieces are also lined up looking menacing. We've got a rook that's lifted, pressuring h7. Maybe the king is exposed because of f6 and g6. Maybe this rank is vulnerable. This pass pawn is not being stopped, it can push. So that's obviously an idea. Rook is loose, queen is loose, queen is loose. Any x-rays worth noting? Not really, except for this. And I guess, yeah, that's about it. Maybe this, but I mean, you know, these pawns are never coming in. So, okay, what checks do we have? None. What captures do we have? We've got rook takes h7. Okay, what threats do we have? We've got queen h6. We've got e7, we've got knight d5. Okay, so let's start with queen e6, because why the hell is this not winning? They can't stop like this. If they try and run, we take him and give mate. Like if they move the rook. So they have to move the queen back. So queen h6. They can play any one of these moves. Just don't have a follow-up. Okay, fair. Let me look at the captures first. So what about this rook h7? If king just takes, do we have any follow-up? Really don't think so. Okay. No more captures, no more checks. What about threats? So what if we push the pawn? What if they block? Oh, maybe now we can go queen h6. Since they can't block with the queen, but they now can play king f7. Probably forced. Then we can go queen takes check, they go king e6. Don't really see the follow-up there. I mean, maybe we can just take on g6 and claim that we've won a pawn. Well, 2 pawns. I guess they can take our pass pawn. It looks okay. It looks okay. Maybe even very good, but let's see if there are other ways we can try. e7 and then sack? Probably not. e7, rook e8. Maybe now we combine it with this knight move, so let's look at the knight move first. So knight moves, if they take, can we take? I don't know how impressive that is. Maybe they just go king g7 or something, rook e8 and it's fine. So if we throw this in first, and then we play knight here, maybe this makes a difference. If they try and take now, we take with check. King g7, and then we can go rook h7. King h7, queen f7. King h6 probably. And then we can take on e8, and they don't have a check. So that's winning. So okay, here, and knight d5. If they don't take us, we are threatening knight f6. So what if they play a move like bishop d7? Well, then we take their queen. So okay. I think then they're actually just lost. So it's just a combination of these 2 moves, I think. Yeah. And then rook h7 is clutch. And I did consider this for a second as well, but it's really unnecessary. I mean, just take here. We threaten the check, and they have no. Surely they have nothing, right? I mean, what if they play a move like Queen F2, threatening checkmate? Like maybe there's some annoying perpetuals we need to watch out for. So yeah, let's actually be precise here. Queen F8 could also work. But why? I mean, Queen F8, they can even just go King G5 or something, and then this would be the same position, but the king is even stronger. So here at least threatens to promote with check when we take. So we have to take. And Queen F2 was played. So in this position, we need to be very precise. I mean, we could go Queen takes G6, forcing King takes and then promote with check. King G5, if that does something. If we could trade queens, then I might get behind it, but I don't see a way. So surely let's try and be a bit more ambitious first. Let's give this check. That forces King G5. Probably then H4. They can't take it because the trades will lead to me winning. If they come in with King G4, maybe now I promote. They give a check, I come here. They give a check, I come here. They give a check, I come here. And I feel like I'm gonna get out of the checks. I have two queens. Like if one queen comes back, I'm doing fine. So I think that's the key. Queen H8, King G5, H4. I think that's the key. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. Yeah, and then we just promote. And I don't believe they've got a perpetual here. Yeah. Let's go! That was nice. That was nice. Okay, so what are people saying? Yeah, exactly, Faz. 1700 FIDE with 2200 ECF. Yeah, it's crazy. So E7, Rook E8, Knight D5, Bishop E5, Queen D5, King D7, Rook H7, King E7, Queen F7. Nice, Peter. And on E7, Rook E8. Yeah, exactly, Peter. Izaru says E7, Rook E8, Knight D5, Bishop D5, Queen D5, followed by Rook H7. Yeah. So I guess, I mean, yeah, we saw this, but then you needed this extra finesse, right, with this H4. How do you guys work on your middle game? That question is as fundamental as how we work on chess. I wouldn't quite say it's as fundamental. I mean, it is a little bit more specific. How do you work on middle game? I mean, for me, personally, because I have a very unique repertoire in terms of the structures I get, I don't actually have to be that good at chess. I would say that, like, the work I put into Woodpecker is more of just, like, reaching a bare minimum level of consistency and competency because my tactics are so inherently bad. So I don't think this is necessarily necessary for everyone. But in terms of my middle games, I think just by playing a lot of my openings where I can, like even if I'm playing a casual setting, I'm not going to just suddenly play E4. Even if I'm playing a 1700, a real 1700 at the local club, I'm not going to suddenly play like E4 or play like some random crap. No, I'm going to play my setup. I'm going to play my actual lines. I'm going to test them and get more experience in them. And I think this is very important as well. So just playing your structures again and again and again till like you know the ins and outs of them. And actually, for instance, like in my league match on Monday, where I beat a 2000, like on like move 15, there was a moment where I had to move my knight from F3. And I literally remember analyzing an online game where I played knight E5 instead of knight D2. And it was the exact same theme, where knight D2 was just better. And I checked with an engine after the game, and knight D2 was plus 0.5, and knight E5 was just equal. So like when you analyze your games and you play your systems a lot, you just can learn a lot. So this is how I work on middle games. Like I'm really not spending any time like, you know, learning about like, I don't know, complex middle game technique or ideas, or like learning about structures that I don't understand as well as I do others. No, just you know, master the structures that you get. I mean, it depends how wide your opening repertoire is. If you're getting like all structures, then I guess you need knowledge of all structures. But yeah, that's my advice. Welcome, Josh, to the stream. How's it going? Just got back from the pub. Nice. Solid Wednesday pub. When you say pub, do you mean like Loughborough Chess Club? Is that the vibe? When will you grind your Lichess classical rating? It's a fair question. I mean, it's 2400 right now, and if I were to reach 2500 using my inflated question mark, and if I did manage to get the rating, you know, that K factor low enough, then I would get into the rankings and probably get that, get in like top 10 or something. It's tempting. It's tempting. Yeah, exactly. C3 Venom is just London or Carlsbad. Yeah, basically, or Exchange Slav, like C3 C5 D4. So yeah, they're real structures. E4 equals random crap confirmed. Absolutely. Especially if you play it like me. That's what I mean. Like I don't have I'm not really playing E4. I'm just playing some meme setups. Yeah, Caro tempo up, exactly. Which that's the funny thing. An exchange Caro a tempo up is a Carlsbad, which is crazy. I appreciate your comment, Josh, about the Woodpecker. Yeah, I definitely feel sharper. Like the speed at which I'm seeing things, the consistency at which I'm checking certain things, the consistency in looking at candidate moves, the lack of tunnel visioning. I mean, it really is. It is better. And I mean, this is just day 39, right? This is day 39. I mean, okay, no, I've done more of this, but I mean, like in recent times, this is day 39 of Woodpecker since May 2025. So just several months of just doing this, and it's already like feeling a lot better. I'll stop being lower rated than Safsara in online blitz when I stop playing the Grand Prix, because there's literally no incentive to improve my online blitz right now. Brandon Clark was number 1 on Lichess Classical. Fair. Maybe that's a goal. That's a goal. I should look up the Lichess. You know what? Okay, I'm getting tempted. You guys are tempting me. I'll go back and do a Woodpecker very soon. Let's have a very quick look. Classical. How do we even get there now? Things have changed so much. Players, right? And then you can click on classical. We can see here. So 2630 is number 1, and then 2514, a whole 100 points lower, is number 2. That just shows how few people play classical. My classical rating currently is 2418 with a question mark. So if I won like the next 3 games, and I then like beat up some like 1500s, I would probably bring my rating to top 10, which would be pretty cool. To be fair, the trophy is sick for top 10. I think the top 50 trophy is so B-Tech, but the top 10 trophy is lush. It's unbelievably nice trophy. So maybe this is actually incentive to try and reach top 10, just to flex the Lichess trophy. I did used to. Can you believe? I did used to have the top 100 rapid rating, rapid trophy, top 100 rapid trophy. Back during the pandemic days, before so many people switched to Lichess. Like I was top 100 with like a rating of like 2400 something. I think that was already top 100. But yeah, we'll consider making a little classical grind. We will see. Okay, let's do one more of these. Best to play Lone Wolf series? Maybe I should, to be honest. Maybe I should. I mean, how's your experience, Vaz, of playing Lone Wolf? I don't know. The problem with Lone Wolf is it's too much of a commitment for me right now. It's like I've got so many commitments. It's like I just don't want another one. Play a Chessable game right now, that's crazy. Okay, let me ask myself. Is it more chance that I gain rating or lose rating? It's about 50-50. I feel like I am quite sharp. I feel like I could play a good game. At the same time I'm commentating. At the same time I'm feeling a bit too cocky. So I think we'll give it a rest. We'll just do some more calculation. I remember to change scene. I know. How crazy is that? Maybe I should play a classical game. Clearly my brain is on it. Alright, let's do this puzzle and then we'll see. Okay. Queen, bishop, bishop, knight, rook, rook. Queen, bishop, bishop, knight, rook, rook. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 3, 5, 6. Isolated pawn on d5. How can we handle this position? So what's going on? The knight is pressuring our queen. Our queen and knight are pressuring the g7 square. Bishop is pressuring their knight. Both bishops are kind of eyeing up the king side. Although there's a lot of garbage in the way. Queen and rook have a battery, but it's pretty useless. Any loose pieces? Any hanging pieces? No. I mean, maybe the queen. But, you know, it's not completely undefended. So, let's consider our candidate moves then. So let's look at our checks. We've got knight h6, knight e7, queen g7. What about our captures? We've got knight g7, e takes d5, rook takes d5, bishop takes e5. All of these are options. And threats? What threats do we have? I mean, can we move the queen and threaten something? Don't really see any queen move that's particularly explosive. I mean, if I have to move the queen somewhere, probably queen g3 feels good just to stay on the line of the king. So maybe it's a backup queen g3. So okay, let's consider our forcing moves. So let's look at these forcing moves. Knight h6 check, king h8 is forced. What now? King h8 is forced. Yeah, it doesn't make too much sense. So okay, let's put that on hold. Knight e7 check. That makes even less sense. I mean, just rook takes. Surely is fine. Alright, queen takes g7, bishop g7. And we cry. So okay, none of that. Captures, bishop takes e5. If pawn takes e5. Maybe now knight h6, king h8. Still nothing. Bishop e5, pawn e5, maybe pawn takes d5. And let's say the bishop moves somewhere. Well, okay, they have to be very careful where they move, right? Because if they move to d7, then we can go knight h6. And then we've got knight f7, is my point. But I don't even know what that does. The bishop e5 is promising. Let's just check all of our candidates first. Pawn takes d5 as knight takes g4. And do we have a follow-up there? Probably not. No. Okay, so rook takes e4, they just take our queen. Again, doesn't look very good. Yeah, knight takes g7, they just take our queen. And again, doesn't look good. So then what about threats? We couldn't even find any threats, right? So right now it feels like bishop e5 is almost forced. Bishop e5, they can also take with the queen or rook. Bishop e5 if they take with the rook. I mean, bishop takes, they take with the queen. That's the worst one of all, because then we've got knight h6 immediately, and then knight f7. Okay, how about this, chat? If I get this question right, then I'll play a game. How about that? I'll play a classical game. I'll play a classical game if I get this one right. So bishop e5. Bishop e5, rook e5 or pawn e5. Bishop e5, pawn e5. Pawn takes d5 just looks good. So bishop e5, rook e5 if pawn takes d5. They could go rook takes e1, rook takes e1, bishop takes d5. And what then? Bishop e5, rook e5, pawn d5, rook e1, bishop d5, white to play. Knight h6, king h8. Maybe queen f5? And on g6 to stop queen h7 mate, then there's like queen takes f6 check. Bishop g7 can block. And maybe we've got like knight f7 check, king g8. I don't know. No idea. But bishop e5 feels the most promising. Would we have enough to play it in the game? I think we do. Bishop e5, rook e5, pawn d5. Really looks promising. Or at least bishop e5, rook e5, and then think. Like maybe we can throw in like f4 or something. Like f4, make the rook move, and then take on d5. So let's see how they recapture. I think this is correct. Okay, so they did take with the rook. f4 is now a candidate that popped in my head, which looks quite nice. But now I'm realizing they can actually... No, they can't take this because of my bishop. So f4 looks pretty good. f4, they go back to e8. And then we just take on d5. But is it the same problem, actually? Yeah, it's just the same problem. Right? They take on e1, I take back, and then they take. And unless the f-pawn is helped with something, then we've just weakened our king for no reason. So take on d5 is one option. f4 was another, but no. Any other options? Knight h6 check, king h8. Oh. We can just go knight h6 check, king h8, knight check, which is a fork. And if the queen takes, then we can take it. And surely that's good enough. Yeah, that's what I missed. Okay. Nice. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is 11:49, and unless my flatmate is telling me to shut the fuck up because I am chatting too loudly, I'm gonna go play a game. So I will keep the stream running. I will keep, I'll let you guys chat on chat, but I will close the chat very soon. Well, I'll close the chat once the game starts, and just commentate on the game. And you guys can chat between yourselves what is going on. I hope I don't make it too awful of a game. Welcome, Nico, to the stream. Glad to see you here. And yeah, good to see that we found this long combination. Faz is going to bed. Fair play. Yeah, let's play a classical game. Let's see if we even get a game. We might be waiting a long time. Create a lobby game. 30... Wait. You know what you can do? Okay, maybe I shouldn't reveal this tactic, but on a rating filter where it's like you can set it, right. I could set it to this, for instance, and then switch back. Maybe if I click create and then abort, and then I create a classical game of 30-0, where it looks like it's plus minus 500. You see how the rating parameters at the bottom of the screen, it's actually like got the correct rating parameters that I want, even though I'm a question mark rating. So I don't have to play some like, you know, plus minus 500 player, you know? It's a glitch on Lichess, and they've never fixed it. I don't know why. Oh, Manmei is going to sleep. Okay, good night, Manmei. Sorry for missing your message. Okay, let's play a classical game. I will put this Lichess on. I don't have a video. Okay, we need some time for someone to accept my challenge anyway, so let me get this ready. Okay. Flip me this way. Yeah. Okay. Okay, this should be calibrated, I hope. Yeah, and it might be a while until we get a game, and then of course you need to check that they're not a cheat. Sometimes you'll just come up against a new player, and it's obvious that they're a cheat, so you just have to abort that game. Why can't I see you in lobby? You're trying to play me, Lucas? Maybe because my rating parameters are too narrow. Man, I really don't want to have to play Lucas or Faz to make my grind to 2500 classical. It's tempting though. It's tempting. Will I play you if I play a 30-minute game right now? I don't know, Lucas. What is your classical rating? Rando was trying to get a game as well. Oh, man. What is your classical rating, Faz? I've got to be tactical with this, right? I mean, which, you know, it really does defeat the purpose of like my whole speech about online chess being like a real representation of, you know, just playing anyone in the wild. Known yet when you're top form after the hair transplant? Fancy your chances? That's crazy. Okay, let's do one more. Okay, first of all, let me make sure that I don't need to wake up early tomorrow morning. And if I don't, I think I should be alright. Okay. $2,300-ish for both of you? That's crazy. Go on. If one of you sends me a challenge, I'll take it, man. I'll take it. $30+0 rated. I think I've still got quite some way to go before my rating gets low enough. Rating deviation is 115 and needs to be below 75, so it will take some time. What is the low end? 2268. So both of you should be able to receive my challenge that I've sent out. GM Bond Cloud. Are we playing? Or am I playing fast? I mean, Lucas, Your challengers come in first. If you're down to play, we can play. Oh man, Lucas has such crazy prep against me as well. Okay, Lucas, let's play. Let's play. First, I'll give you a game. Let your hair transplant level out your level. That made no sense. But okay, let's play. Okay, guys, I'm gonna switch off chat. I'm just gonna make sure that the overlay looks alright. Because I don't want to do this and you guys can't even see the board. Okay, cool. Good luck, Lucas. Alright, let me make sure the board is working. Because there's a bit okay. That looks okay. It's a bit janky. Let me fix this up. Let me fix this up. Oh Jesus! What did I just do? Okay, let me do all this real quick. Does that look nicer? I think that should look a bit nicer. Let me just I think that's the whole board. That's the whole board. And I think the clocks should be good as well. Let me double check. Okay, the clocks are just about in there. Probably need some adjusting, but that will do. So okay, I will close chat now, and I will commentate. Okay, so Benoni time. Let's go. I don't know what Lucas has been cooking. He's probably got something in his store for a long time, but we're just gonna play. Okay, so he's playing this knight variation. He's playing the knight tour. So at this moment, I actually have several lines I can play. The simplest is knight d7, because then I can meet knight c4 with knight d6. This is very simply. But I think I'll keep my options open with bishop g7. And he goes with the main line of e4, and I'll castle. And he's playing the main line. So here, there's a rare move which is b6, and I'm wondering whether to try it out, because it definitely punishes players that just stick to the main line. And given Lucas's speed, I mean, it is extremely tempting to try and catch him out. So I think I will go for this b6 line. It's a little bit dubious, but yeah, the logic is that we just want to trade off this bishop, and already Lucas has gone wrong. The bishop, the Benoni is all about, plans and ideas, and this is a way for me to trade off one minor piece. I think the main line is to play, instead of castles, is to play a4, which is still tricky and definitely playable for black. But yeah, I mean, Lucas is like 1900 ECF, so like definitely not a bad player, but yeah, if I'm having to choose between playing Faz 2300 or Lucas 2300, I mean, Faz is like an NM now, like for sure this is the easier pairing, like just objectively speaking. So okay, let's make the most of this. So I don't think Lucas picked up on the fact that I played b6. And was probably just expecting me to go a6 or something and rook e8 and transpose into something that he knows. But no, the point is bishop a6 and try and get this minor piece. So let's say he takes and I take back with a knight. My plan is to probably go knight c7, a6, rook b8, b5. The only problem with the knight on c7 is that you always have to watch out for potential e5, d6 kind of breaks, where the knight can be vulnerable. So that's the main thing you have to watch out for. Okay, that's quite funny. I just saw in the top left that I actually have a timer where my screen is going to time out in 59 minutes. Because I try not to play on Lichess past 1 a.m. But even if this game goes down to a time scramble, I should be fine. So okay, the question is now, do I take on e2? My gut instinct is no, because unless I want the queen to be on e2 instead of c2. But what could the logic be there? Is the queen preferred on c2 or e2? That's the big question. The thing is, they can never go c2 while the bishop is here, although they can take with the knight. These are kind of my thoughts right now. If I go bishop takes e2, queen e2, I could go rook e8 and already put the rook on the line of that queen. I feel like that queen will have to move again anyway. And this means I can develop my knight to d7 even. I think that looks good. Let me just double check though, queen e2. If I play rook e8, what if they go for a quick attack on d6, right? What if they play like knight c4 and bishop f4 type stuff? So if knight c4, bishop f4 is still available, I might need knight e8 as a potential move. So what about, let's say, bishop e2, queen e2, a6, a4. And then I go knight d7, they go knight c4. I go queen e7, they go bishop f4, I go knight e8. I also need to be careful, I can't play rook b8 as easily because the queen can take my loose pawn on a6. So what's going on there? I think that looks okay, although it is difficult for me to play knight e5 because then they can take on b6. So that's an interesting difference. So I wonder if I do want that queen on e2 or not. Maybe playing like a flexible move like queen e7 just to gain myself a tempo, given that white is kind of in a bind, could be useful. The question is this: if my queen on e7 misplaced to a potential rook e1 takes and knight d7. I mean, these are the questions I have, but probably shouldn't spend too long on it. Just make a decision and just go. Queen e7, rook e1, bishop takes. It's a tough one. Takes, a6, a4. Really, really tough decision. Trying to think as well in that line where I go knight e5 and he takes on b6. Is there some way I can finesse that? Rook b8, maybe. Rook b8 he goes a5. Yeah, don't really trust it somehow. I need to make a choice. I'm spending too long on this. I think queen e7 should be correct. Yeah, let's go queen e7. So my logic is that if we get like a similar line, well, let's say I have the move now and we get this exact same position, a6, a4, I go knight d7, goes knight c4. I can already play knight e5. No, I can't play knight e5 because my pawn is hanging. So I mean, I go knight e8, they go bishop f4. And am I really in the same problem still, despite being up an extra tempo? That's very concerning. I mean, the other option is just not playing a6 at all. The other option is just not playing a6. But I just don't like the fact that this knight has potential to come into b5 and cause problems. I guess it might not actually be a problem if I'm playing with knight e8, because then I'm covering these squares anyway and can kick the knight out after. It's tough to say. I think queen e7 might be inaccurate, but it also gives Lucas more chances to make mistakes. So it's a really tricky decision, I think. But probably not worth my time in a classical game, like a 30-minute rapid game, which this really is. So he does go for this rook e1. I think we should be bold and just take on e2. No, it doesn't make that much sense. The alternative is I play rook e8, queen f8, which is also interesting. I think let's just take though. I think let's take. And claim that, like, you know, white spent an extra tempo here, which may not have been as necessary as one of these like active moves, and then maybe we can handle the position slightly easier. That's the logic. But it's not completely clear. I also have to be very, very careful that on rook takes, like, white's not playing some e5 break. Even with my knight here, because I need to be careful that, like, sometimes I can just lose the game instantly due to this. So I need to be careful about the e5 break. So he takes with the queen. A6 is still like the instinct, but I am feeling that it is a little bit loose. So maybe knight d7 first, and if knight b5, go knight e8. Also, if I go knight d7, he goes e5. Can I take with the knight, or am I still getting wrecked? I can take with the queen. Take with the queen. And things are solid enough, I think. I think it's fine. I think I can go knight d7 first. Goes knight c4. Guess I could go knight e5. Yeah, let's start with knight d7. I don't think a6 is necessary just yet. The only reason why I would do it is if I'm very afraid of knight b5. But if I've got knight e8, then I think it's fine. Okay, gotta keep the focus throughout this whole game. So now Luke needs to decide on a plan. Is he gonna go for this knight c4, bishop f4, or is he gonna just go for f4? And I think depending on which he goes for, I need to handle them in different ways. So he goes knight c4. So I can meet this with knight e5, in which he'll probably play knight e3. Knight e5 definitely feels like the way to go before he's played bishop f4. I think let's go for it. If they take, I mean, there's not even bishop f4 there, I just take it. Knight takes, queen takes. If pawn here, I can even gain a tempo, maybe. I mean, actually, maybe this was one aspect I should have calculated a bit further. If f4, am I actually fine here? Because if white can get an e5 really quickly, I might not be fine. That was a bit careless of me. I mean, maybe then I'm even tempted on knight takes just to take with the pawn and just try and get knight e8, knight d6 in time, which I don't know if I am in time for. So this could get messy very quickly. Knight takes f4, queen e7, e5. Does look very scary. Pawn takes, knight h5. Very unclear to me who's better. Like, those pawns are scary, but they're also kind of weak. They don't have a light squared bishop, so I'm very, very safe to play, like, you know, my heavy pieces on light squares, and seems okay. Seems okay. But if I was Lucas, I would just go for this and give me hell. Knight e5, queen e5, f4, queen e7, e5, and... dunno. Given his rook is on e1 though, I definitely should take on e5 once. Takes back with the f-pawn. Go knight h5. Yeah. So I guess Lucas is deciding between playing knight e3, knight a3. There's a few options. But yeah, I really should look into this like a6 line where maybe the a6 pawn is weak because I can't play rook b8. Like, if that's a problem, then maybe this b6 line has an issue, which I've never realized. Okay, let's say I get an extra move here, then probably I'm just taking on c4 and putting this knight on d7 and trying to contain this e5 push a bit better, like put my rook on e8. So if he takes and I take and he goes f4 and I go queen e7, he goes e5, I can go knight d7 as well. I can take once, go knight d7. Yeah, maybe that's the way to go. Better than knight h5. Knight's not doing anything on h5. Knight d7, we're threatening to win back the pawn. You can go like bishop f4. Then I go rook e8. And actually, am I winning that pawn? Yeah, maybe I'm winning that pawn. Maybe I actually win it. Maybe this is why Lucas is calculating. Maybe it's not good. Okay, looks like Lucas hasn't played on this account for a long, long time. I think it's fine for me. Knight e5, queen e5, f4, queen e7, e5. Takes, knight d7. I guess you can go e6, which could be annoying. You go pawn takes e6, pawn takes e6. Maybe knight e5 there. Kind of interesting. But then he goes bishop f4, and I can't take on e6 because he'll win my piece. So I don't know. Knight e5, queen e5, f4, queen e7, e5. Pawn takes, knight d7, e6. Wait, no, I can... So I'm looking at this, takes, knight d7, e6. I think I can just take. And if they take with the pawn, I can play knight e5, because if bishop f4, then my rook is now revealed to take. So I might be doing fine there as well. So I realize this position is complex, but from a practical perspective, Lucas has spent too much time on this move, and what he really should do is, if he can't calculate it and he thinks that it's sus, he should just play knight e3 and just move on with his life. Like, not dwell on this complication, because he'll need the time later on. And he goes for something like bishop g5 instead. That's fair. I mean, principally speaking, I should just chop this knight and we play. Bishop g5 always begs the question whether we want to kick it away immediately. But we don't have the typical resource to try and win this bishop because the bishop can run and also the knight is hanging. So knight c4 feels like the right move. But maybe Lucas even wants to reveal this rook. It's tough to say. Then again, knight c4, queen c4, h6, bishop h4, here, knight h5, bishop h2, bishop e5, could do a big trade and try and grind them out later on. Knight coming into f4. It's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. Okay, do I have anything better, or should I just go for this? I think it looks good. Oh yeah, let's go for it. Let's go for it. Especially with no light squared bishop on the board, I don't mind playing g5 and weakening my king side. And I think before we started the game, I saw a comment, I think from Jan, saying like 30 plus 0 doesn't count as classical. But I 100% am playing 30 plus 0. I mean, like, we got to be able to flag the opponent. If we're serious about getting top 10 in classical on Lee Chess, then... So he's gone back this way, which does beg the question, if I go g5, what if he just puts the bishop back on, like, this diagonal? Is it premature for me to push? I could also force the matters with knight h5 without committing my pawn. But what am I really achieving? Maybe I should just go back knight d7 and start this reroute already. That seems the most reasonable to me, especially knight b5 might be coming soon. If I go knight d7, knight b5, knight e5. If he drops back, then I'm probably in time to play a6. And he has to go away. Yeah, so I think knight d7 makes most sense here. He can't sack on d6. Knight d7, what if he pushes and I take? And he takes. And I take and he goes f4. I go check. He can take, I take, he takes, I take. I think I'm better there. Alright, so I think we go knight d7. I think knight d7 looks right. So being a bit careful of this h1, just in case. I need to keep g5 on my radar. And for anyone watching this stream that actually is inspired to play with Benoni, I don't know who might be, but if you are, I do have a YouTube course on the Benoni. Which if you become a YouTube member, then you get access to the whole, like, 15 hours of content. And I literally go into everything. Don't cut any corners. So, if you want to learn a Benoni, you know where to look. But okay, 97 definitely feels good. Trying to reroute it to a better square. I actually really hope that Lucas plays like knight b5, because then I get this a6 with tempo and then get b5 without white having the time to play a4. So I think that would be good for me. I'm also very, very happy that I've got a 5-minute lead. This could be huge. I'm just gonna check if my flatmate is sleeping okay. Like, I don't want to wake him up. Okay, he hasn't messaged me, so should be fine. I feel like I've just been looking at the screen too long today. Like, I'm losing my marbles a bit, but no, we got to lock in. So, okay, rook b1, interesting move. Trying to play for b4, getting off the diagonal. So, with an extra move in hand, we could go a6, they go a4. I also have this idea to play knight e5, but I don't know how useful it is. a6, a4. I could bring the other rook to b8 in order to try play for b5. But it's also very difficult to get in. Knight e5, what if they just move the queen somewhere? I don't know where. Back to e2. I mean, the line I'm looking at is a6, a4, and then just pushing b5 anyway. Takes, knight takes, and then maybe if I can bring my rook in. Or maybe even like c4 there or something. But they could always take and then take my pawn. Like, I don't know. Okay, we've got 18 minutes. No added time. No increment. Need to make a choice. I can also continue my development with like rook e8. So if I go rook e8 and he goes b4, this is actually something to worry about. Not really. Do I want a6, a4 included? Lucas is saying my brain hurts playing this game on the chat. Yeah, my brain is hurting as well. a6. The problem with a6, it just weakens that pawn because I don't have a bishop on c8. It's one issue of this line. I could go queen f6. Hits the bishop and also prevents b4. It's not a bad idea. Thing is, it's a bit of an unusual move, and I don't like unusual moves. Rook e8 is kind of more consistent. Oh, but hold up. If I go rook e8 and he goes b4, maybe now I can play queen f6. So that would probably force... Maybe they've got e5, but probably forces bishop d2. It surely has to be an improvement for me. Question is, do I want to throw an a6 first in all of this? I've still problems with this pawn being weak. Rook a8 has to be right. It has to be useful. Yeah, Rook e8 has to be correct. Rook e8 though, I may go knight b5. Can I still do this? I can. I'm pretty sure. I just have to take back with the bishop so that my queen protects this square. I think it's fine. Alright, let's just play rook e8. I don't think b4 is that big of a deal. One plan I can think about, and maybe the rook might actually belong on c8. I wonder if I can still use this rook. But the point is I can go knight e5 and then play for c4 and not worry about bishop takes knight. And then winning my pawn because my rook is guarding. So actually this makes a lot of sense. I think rook c8 is actually the correct plan in this position. And play for knight e5, c4, knight d3. So really, probably my rook belongs on c8 if I need to keep my rook supporting this idea. Maybe this is... But rook e8 can't be wrong either. Like, keeping tabs on this idea. Can't be wrong. It also gives Lucas something more to think about. Rook c8 is almost too purposeful. Like, rook e8 is kind of just useful and improving, and Lucas needs to make a choice of his plan. Or he can set him and maybe I even just play rook c8, like, if he does nothing. Importantly, my rooks are connected as well, so if any funny business does open up on the e-file, like I'm not like losing my rook somehow. So this is important too. Need to keep the energy up. Maybe I'll even have a Kit Kat just to keep the energy going. We are playing a serious game at the end of the day. Just made a mess on my table. Bishop g3, okay. That's a nice move. So now it's very tempting to play g5, just to cut out f4. I do weaken f5 though, and potentially there's this plan. So knight e5 is tempting. Now rook c8 almost feels a bit too slow. g5, knight d1. Oh, g5, knight d1, f5 maybe. And if he goes knight e3 anyway, when there I can take. Which is extremely messy. g5, knight d1, f5. Knight e3, f4, knight f5. But then is it so bad? I could play like queen e5. I feel like black's better there. Even with the knight on that commanding square. I can eventually reroute my knight and trade it. So I think g5 makes most sense. I think g5 is correct. Let's go for it. Only because I've got f5. Because the rooks temporarily don't connect. And And you see how much faster I am with these tactics compared to like a normal game. It's like it's because I played Benoni my whole life. So it's like I know these, I spot these ideas much faster, which is why it's so important to like stick with a system and master it. So I think G5 is correct to stop F4. And I'm still wondering whether I can try bring a knight to D3. Maybe I can use this rook, you know? The problem is if the knight comes in, then there's like a double attack. So I can't. Oh, and he even goes queen a6. That looks so super odd. So knight e5 somehow feels tempting. I don't know why. Because now that f4 is not really possible. Also, it means that they can't sneak in this, which I can't be good, but also maybe is good. So knight e5 would stop both. Or like stop that plan. So any other way I can exploit this? Knight b8 is a bit too much. I mean knight e5 makes most sense. Because yeah, even knight b5, I mean I am covering all my bases. And if he takes, I can still take with bishop to cover the square if there's like ever any fork business. And I wonder now if I still go for this plan of rook c8 and c4. To try and get a knight in on d3. I think this is my most active plan. I mean, one more active plan I can go for is h5, h4. Just to improve my pawn structure. That might also be worth doing, to be honest. Ooh, I've just had a very dangerous thought. What if they go knight d1 now? I forgot. What if they go knight d1, knight d3, knight f5? Because knight d1 I can no longer play f5. That's a bit of an issue. Is it an issue? If I play f5 anyway and they take, I've got knight f3. And they take and then I go queen takes. Oh, and he plays knight d1. That's so funny. Can I still go f5? I think I go f5, and if he takes it, I've got knight f3. And then I win the rook. So I think f5 is still playable. And I have to go f5. So I think we just go for it. Surely, right? I think f5. f5 is correct. So, okay, I got a bit lucky there, but this resource is still working. Yeah, Lucas is playing a great game. So what can actually happen in this position? Let's say he just goes back knight c3. Well, then I push f4, and then my position is great. If he takes on f5, I go knight f3. If he takes on e5, what should I take back with? Probably the queen. So probably his best bet is just to go with like knight e3 now. I go f4, he goes knight f5 with tempo, I go queen f6. Then he can bring his queen into b7. No, because his bishop's hanging, so he has to play bishop h2. And then I've got a free move. Potentially I can even... No, I can't go knight d3, that blunders the knight. I'd want to somehow challenge the knight on f5. Not so easy. So yeah, what I'm looking at is knight e3, f4, knight f5. And he goes f3 instead. Well, now I can play f4, and I should have a winning attack on the king side. That's definitely the gut instinct. Let me just see if there's anything better. I could try taking here, and if they took with the rook, then try this, but then they can take with the pawn. Probably not working. f4 is definitely gut feeling, and I have a big time advantage. And that position is horrible to play if you're down on the clock. So okay, let's play f4. No time to waste. f4, I think we go h5 and try and prepare this g4. I think knight e3, knight f5 was really necessary from Lucas there. So, okay, bishop f2 I'm expecting. I'm wondering if I can try get this in still. Or whether it's even necessary. Whether I should even be playing for that. Or should I just be focusing on the king side now? Like, keep this intact and then just play on the king side. Because I almost quite like the fact that this bishop is getting shut out by these pawns. Like, even if they push this, I can always just take back with the pawn. Right? If my queen is like somewhere here. So I think this makes sense. To try and push for g4. Oh, is this playlist done? Wow. Okay, let's move to the next one. Okay, so bishop f2. And I believe h5 should be correct. Should be correct. And try and break on g4. And just bring the rooks to h and g file. And then attack. Probably want my king on g6, bishop on f6 or something. And then... Yeah, what's the correct way to finesse this? I can still go for rook c8, c4, knight d3, but it really feels wrong to play on that side. Let's go h5. h5 gives him something to think about. There's no way to immediately unravel, and g4 might even be playable now, right? g4, pawn takes, pawn takes, pawn takes, knight takes. Looks really playable. Put the bishop on e5, king f7, rooks on the h and g file, or just both on the h file, both on the g file. I don't know. We'll work it out when it comes. And Lucas has 5 minutes to deal with this. I mean, it's impossible. So okay, in this position, maybe he plays like queen e2 to try and cover the square a bit more. How do I continue the attack? Goes knight c3, so he's going for counterplay instead. But what does that even threaten? My queen is currently covering everything, so I can kind of like improve the position. g4 now, pawn takes, pawn takes, pawn takes, knight takes. Hit that bishop, open up my bishop. Question is, do I want to play king f7 first? If everything's going to open up, but is my king even safer on f7? Is it even good on f7? Really tough to say. Maybe he even ignores everything. So maybe g4 is just a move, and then finesse afterwards. Unless I'm somehow dropping this guy, but I don't think I am. If he goes back to knight e2 or something. Nah. Looks really strong. Yeah, let's go for it. Thing is good. I mean, there is this saying from 7 Deadly Chess Sins, which is like, you've got bread and butter, don't try so hard to get jam as well. Like, jam is just greedy. And I have the bread and butter, let's just go for it. Because I don't even know which moves of mine are improving, and the thing is, like, Lucas is going to try and improve his position as well. So, an immediate knight back here. So, knight takes f2 is definitely on the cards. Knight f2, king f2. I can even throw in queen h4. Looks very strong. You'd think that that's like a winning attack. Knight f2. Are there any other better ways to bring in the pieces, right? Like, look at our candidate move. Do we have any checks? No. Do we have any captures? Just this capture. Do we have any threats? Can't play queen h4. Maybe we could play bishop d4 with the idea of queen h4. But it's risking too much. So probably just take on f2 is winning. Take on f2, king f2 is forced. Bishop d4 check or queen h4 check. I mean, do we have to play so quickly as well? We could also just like play bishop e5 and just like slow play it. I mean, the bishop actually doesn't have a safe square right now. So bishop e5, just prevent them from sacking and bring their knight in. And just secure the f-pawn as well. And just like slowly bring this in. Looks really good. Bishop e5 also protects d6 so that my queen is free to move. It's also a diagonal away, so it's really a strong piece. The more I look at this, like it's not the time to go all in for an attack. It's better to play bishop e5. Bishop e5, they can play queen h3 or queen here. Does that do anything? I really don't think so. And I think that bishop's actually kind of preventing this king from making a runner, so I think bishop e5 is best. Let's go for that. If he plays queen f3 or queen h3, I've got queen g5. Looks fine. Or even queen g7. Maybe this is the more sensible move. Queen g5, it's a bit loose. Queen here, it supports the bishop. Supports back, pressure, protection. Like queen g7 might be better. So yeah, which way to go? Is there any benefit of the queen being on g5 as opposed to g7? g7, I mean, the queen might be able to come in. g5, at least we cover these squares. g5, they do have this now, which might be annoying. So I do need to consider what happens if they keep it. I could go g7, and if they try and save the bishop, then play this check, which looks very, very, very strong. Queen g7 if they try and play this. Oh, but surely takes and queen g3 has to be winning. Looks so nice. But maybe it's not enough. Maybe it's not enough. Do we care if his queen comes in? Probably not. I don't know what it does. We can always play like rook like this or something. So queen g7 right now feels like the safer move. I think let's go for it. I don't see what this queen does at all when it comes in. Secure the knight, secure everything, pressure on this file, big threats of taking on f2 potentially. Maybe even this is a threat. Could that be a threat and then take with the queen? Can't go f1. h1 with knight f2. So maybe that's actually a big threat. Because then we're threatening, like, even if they defend, we win an exchange at least, and then probably we've got like a winning endgame. So maybe this is a big threat. Bishop d4. And we've got double the time. This is huge. 8 minutes versus 4. Just got to stay focused. So maybe another bite of the Kit Kat. So he runs already. Is this actually achieving something? If bishop takes, queen takes. If they just go like queen here or something. Then I've got a fork. Oh, it's not a check anymore, so then I'm actually losing. I'm losing my knight. So let's not do that. Knight here is a cute move with this idea, but it's just too much. So running is very smart. I don't know if there's a way I can prevent it. That's the annoying thing. So okay, what makes sense here? What makes sense? Now that the queen is far away, I could try a6 and b5. Maybe if the king keeps running, I can go for this counterplay. But for now, this rook is really redundant, right? Like we much prefer to like achieve something, or at least threaten to push f3. So let's start with rook f8. I think rook f8 makes perfect sense. So Lucas runs. We can now play this move again. Also, these pieces are potentially coming this way. I need to be very careful. I could go for the boring route of queen g3 and just try and enter this endgame and claim that I've got something here. Rook f1 though. No, wait. The king is on this square, so check here takes. The king has to move. And then I can come in. Looks very commanding as well. Maybe this is actually the way, enter the endgame. Knight f2, king f2, queen g3, we don't have to take. King e2. Queen h3, pawn h3, f3 check. Does look extremely strong as well. Oh, too many options. 6 minutes. Might be the best bet though. Keep that king on this side of the board. So if I go rook f6, I guess then he saves his bishop. Really tough to say. I think we're gonna go for it. I don't see anything better, and I feel like my king might be vulnerable as well. So I think because we can see such a concrete advantage, I think it's worth going for. Like really, my weaknesses are really covered by this beautiful bishop. I really think we have the advantage. Really surprised Lucas is thinking on this move. Wow, there's a check. Okay, so I'm quite lucky that I'm not just lost or something, because I did not see this check. But rook f7 feels natural enough. Everything is well supported. The king takes and now queen g3 is even stronger, so I don't have to go to this file. I mean, maybe I could even, the knight is covering it, but then maybe he sacks everything, right? Like, so rook f7 feels like the move. What am I missing here? Rook f7, it just feels completely winning. Yeah, let's just play it. Because I'm literally a piece up. I think this has to be a blunder. I think maybe Lucas thought I had to go to the h file and he would sack a rook and then try and mate me or something, but rook f7, now it's just over. Yeah, no, you can't survive queen g3. I don't believe it. Queen g3, king e2. Queen e3. I mean, the only alternative is we start with this, which might also be strong. What's the finesse? What's the finesse? I might want this just to cover this square, because that makes me a bit nervous. Then I do give up this control. Okay, I'm burning a lot of time. I think it's right though. I think I'm gonna go for it. I think it wins. I think it wins. we cover the g1 square, we try and come in on g2. So we don't waste a tempo where white gets an extra move of escape. And he goes here, so my thought is queen g3 should be winning. This can't be good. This cannot be good. I mean, f3 is a candidate move as well, but queen g3 really feels like it's over. f3 is a candidate as well, but queen g3, I think we can just go for it. I mean, I'm covering all of the checks, like... And it's like, if rook here, then I presume f3 should win. Like, they can't take because of mate. So he goes for it. But f3? Just over, surely. Just double check any little trick. Any little trick. No tricks. Alright, let's go for it. But yeah, I think there are a couple poor moves at the end from Lucas in terms of the defense. I think he could have made it a lot more testing, like trying to run with his king a bit more. Also, I feel like queen e6 was just sloppy. I mean, maybe he thought the bad endgame was just too bad. Okay, and we get the resignation. Nice. Okay, so good game, Lucas. Let me check the chat now that the game is done to see what people are saying. So we've got Jan and Faz watching until the end. Michael should have gone for queen d3 instead of bishop d4. Interesting. Yeah, no, we should have a look at the game. So, yeah. GG Lucas. Commentated the whole game so you can hear my thoughts. True, my degen bedtime. I got 6 minutes 47 to analyze this game. So what is it saying? I made 3 mistakes in the game, but doesn't look like they were ever big enough mistakes to cost me a full advantage. And I presume around here the mistake was this knight d1. Oh, I thought knight d1 was the mistake. I thought knight d1 already f5 was good. Because I guess what Lucas missed was like this check. But yeah, I thought... Actually, no. I thought knight e3 was best. Yeah, I did see this. Because I thought knight f5. I need to move the queen somewhere. Maybe on the light square is better to cover these light squares. And yeah, I thought that this is still certainly a game. Because this knight is still very strong. Okay, have a good night, Rando. Hope you enjoyed this game. Yeah, missing f5, right? But I think even so, this knight e3 plan was still good for white. But I thought before this you played really well. And I was actually thinking this b6 plan, one of the potential problems. Yo, average hater, you got a GF. That's a crazy curveball, given we're just randomly looking at some analysis. But yeah, well, congratulations. Biggest question of all, is she a chess player? Is she a chess player? That's the most important question. Yeah. Have you even asked if she plays chess? That's another important question. Have you disclosed that you play chess, average hater? These are all the big relationship questions that everyone should ask. Yeah, because I was wondering what would happen if I took on e2. Okay, I guess you guys can see the board and everything. It should be fine. Okay, so queen e2. And I was trying to understand if I could go a6, a4, knight d7, knight c4, knight e8, bishop f4. This is what I was calculating. And I was wondering... Oh, my queen is on d8, so it's protecting b6. So with my queen not on e7, I can do this. I can just do this. Oh, I did not understand. It says +1 for some reason. With F4 immediately and I'm in some trouble. And I'm not in time to put the knight on D6. That's actually kind of sad. Guess I could play Queen E7 though. Why is it so... Oh, and D6, the pawn sack, yeah. Okay, fair enough. And then the knight comes in. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. So I'm just not in time to get the knight on D6. That's quite interesting. Yeah, and then if I play Queen E7 first, and then I go knight D7. So this was actually all correct. And the other line I was thinking of here was like, what if like knight E5, Queen E5, and then F4, and basically just go all in with E5. But I thought that I could take and go knight D7, yeah, and I thought that I was fine here. Because exactly the sign. E6 takes, and knight E5. And there's no bishop F4 because of my rook. This is everything I calculated on the stream. Oh, but there's knight B5 here. How fun. Knight C7. Oh, Benoni's so crazy. Queen F7. I lose the rook, and then I've got knight D3. Are you kidding me? Knight D3 is ridiculous. Okay, and that does too ridiculous for me. Let's try Queen F5 instead of knight D3. Oh, but then there's Queen E6, so actually you do need Queen F7? Bruh. I don't know if I would have found Queen F7, Knight D3. This is ridiculous. So the point is if they take, I can go check and pick up the rook. So this knight is actually very strong. There's no rook here for some reason. What if rook F1? Queen F1 apparently. Queen takes. And then bishop D4. Oh, that's so silky. They have to give up the piece so that they can defend their queen. Oh, this is ridiculous. This is an insane line. This is an insane line. And then you still are down in exchange, but you just have this monster c-pawn. What a position. What a position. Just asked 1,115 on Rapid. We will take that. We will take that, Averitator. Thank you for the donation as well. Appreciate them. Better than you? Man, you need to up your game. I guess watch less of my videos. Or just buy my Benoni course and then get super good at the Benoni and then beat everyone. Yeah, you saw knight e3 too, but you hate your bishop, Lucas. But the thing is, if you had gone for this... Well, is this f5 moment? I don't think your bishop is too bad because you can play f3 and get your bishop out this way eventually. Like it's very slow, but you can eventually get your bishop back out somewhere. So I don't think it's like completely trapped forever. Yo, I mean, Averitator, if you get C3 Venom and you gain, if you improve your rating above whatever it is now, please let me know. I want to hear another success story. Econ class. Her teammate left her. That's a crazy statement. What? So she was dating her teammate? I don't follow. I don't follow. There are no female chess layers. Not the best time to typo. Lucas says, I know h3 was bad, but I wanted to get you out of prep. And also check knight takes d6. What move, Lucas, were you thinking of knight takes d6? Because I actually don't think I remember seeing a knight takes d6. When did you play h3? Yeah. Yeah, I think actually earlier on, I mean, when I played b6, I think you castled too quickly. I actually thought a4 was the main move here, so clearly I'm not up to date on this line. I thought a4 was the main move. Okay, okay, let me undo this block. Let's temporarily change this to chess.com. And then I can go back to chess. Okay, I'll have to remember to switch it back on. Okay, so bishop a6. You can see it's not the first time that I've undone that block. But yeah, I'm surprised that this was all actually good for me. Really surprised. And I thought, Lucas, maybe you were just going to play knight e3. I thought this was just forced me to keep an extra minor piece on. But yeah, h6 was good, bishop f4 was good. This is a high caliber game. And rook e8 was fine as well. I was thinking maybe rook fc8 was better. Yeah, it is a move. It is a move, and the idea is to try and play for this. Like if you just make a nothing move here, is knight e5, queen f1. Is c4 good? Guess you can take. Yeah, I don't know. Why did you play g5, Michael? G5 was to prevent f4. So was f4 not f4 e5? Was this not something to worry about? Like let's say a6 a4. What is g5 is a move here. G5 is definitely a move. But if I ignore it, I mean I'm surprised it's even saying like knight e5. Like just queen e2. And I have to play g5. You can see the engine is like screaming for g5. Yeah. The thing is, like, I just need to make sure that I don't play g5 when this line is possible. That's the one motif I need to watch out for. And the thing is, I've always got this f5 idea due to the pressure on the rook. So maybe Lucas should play a move like rook f1 so that he can go back. But the problem is then the pawn is hanging. So it's very difficult to actually get this maneuver in. And I was keeping tabs on it. Although actually no, I did miss knight d1 was possible here, and I got lucky that f5 was playable. Interesting that knight d6 is another way to deal with it, because if knight e3, then we can take on e4. Very interesting. Okay, so f3 was played. f4 felt right, especially due to the time situation. And yeah, this was the classic, like, I've got bread and butter, shouldn't ask for jam, so g4 was correct. And you went all in with all of these trades. Oh, queen g5 is better. Oh, lots of moves are better. So maybe I was too keen to just take back, but I thought the knight was good here because I could replace the knight with the bishop. Queen d3 top move. Bishop e5, queen h3, queen g7. King started to run. King kept running. And yeah, the line I was thinking that I wanted to play was this queen g3. This is what I thought you'd actually defended fantastically, and I thought this was my best chance. But king e3 is very nice. I actually didn't see that I had a checkmate here. Bishop d4. Oh, and the point is I just lift? Is that the point? Yeah, it looks like I just lift the rook. Crazy. So okay, king e3 is better. Rook f2 is what I would have played, and rook a f8. And yeah, actually I'm not able to win the g-pawn, which I thought I was going to be able to. So actually this is not clear at all. But ultimately I do have the more active pieces. My bishop is very, very well placed. So I definitely keep control. But maybe it's actually not as clear as I thought. It was a high pressure situation as well though on the clock. So I think practically speaking it was worth going into. But yeah, maybe I could have played better than knight f2. Like, it looks like rook f6 with this idea is still strong. But I just thought maybe you're just going to run away somehow. Like, you just play bishop h4. I guess I can just pin it, right? If I go rook here. Rook f8, maybe. And maybe if you just try and, like, move the queen away. It's not easy. It's not easy. Like, this bishop takes c3 is, like, really awkward. Really don't want to play it. It's like for some very concrete reasons of knight e5 and somehow entering in a way that's favorable, but yeah, so knight f2 was wrong. Queen e6 definitely felt wrong. Maybe you missed rook f7. I would say knight d1 lost me the game. Possibly, yeah. Knight d6, 15 knight d6. Okay, let's go back. Let's see this. Oh, knight d6 is what you're counting. I didn't even consider this move. Wow. So I see the point now is to play like f4 and e5 and win your material back, but I genuinely didn't see this move. So queen d6. So this is what you were calculating that whole time. f4. And apparently I am better. I don't know which move worried you, Lucas, but knight h5 looks very nice. I mean, maybe knight d7 is actually just a little bit safer. Yeah, and I feel like I've regained my material, and is the blockade good? Is the blockade good here? So what's this knight h5? Why is this better? So I guess this just stays a bit more active. So knight b5, then bishop h2, king h1, queen e5. Yeah, that's a nice recycling of the pieces, and this is a big threat. Yeah, so I guess actually I'm fine, but yeah, I didn't see this coming. Did not see this coming. 30+0, the forbidden time control. Yeah, no, it is probably one of my best time controls, to be honest. Because it's like slow enough for me to not blunder, but also fast enough to put like huge practical pressure on the opponent. Oh, you're afraid of king f7 as well. Wait, king f7, I don't know when. But yeah, this was nice. I still felt at the end, actually. I thought king e2 here. I didn't think it was over. I couldn't see the exact win. I just felt it was better. And Faz was saying that it's better to play queen g3. Indeed, Engine agrees. I just thought that white got an extra tempo with escaping, but I did not see c4. c4 is a very beautiful move. Did not see this one. Maybe if I saw c4, I'd play it, yeah, and then get this check in. And f3, yeah, so that you can play bishop f4. Ouch, yeah, that's beautiful. If I had a bit more time, then maybe I'd find this, but I was also low on time. So bishop d4, queen g3, and f3, yeah, and now of course it's over. Yeah, but king e2, I think it's actually still like requires some technique from me, which I wasn't sure I had. But this was my point. My bishop is covering the square, so you can't just skewer me. King d3 looks like to be the better trivo. This is really crazy. Like the king is running, but I guess like I've got this plan eventually. Yeah, still winning. Crazy game. But yeah, thanks for playing, Lucas, and thanks everyone for supporting the cause to play some classical chess. I think like I was in a good mood to play it, and yeah, I'm glad I played it. And 24-42, let's see how much lower this went. So we literally lost around, I think we were at 115, and it went down to 111. So I've basically got to play what, like 5, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100, 105. I can't believe I'm using my fingers for this. But basically like 7 more games before like I have like an actual legit. I don't know if it actually goes down by 5 each time. Maybe that's just incorrect. But okay, we are slowly grinding our way to the high ranks. And yeah, actually really well played, Lucas. I mean, compared to the Benoni game we played a couple years ago at Langton, like this was much higher caliber. This was very nice. So yeah, good game, and thank you all for tuning in. I hope you guys learned something and enjoyed that. Oh, was king f7 a good move at the end there from Faz? I don't know if yeah, let's have a quick look. Go on. To swing the rooks over. I remember considering such an idea at some point. Maybe it was around here. I don't know at what point though. Or maybe around here as well. Like king f7. I don't know, it always felt like maybe I wanted to open this up, so it was never clear to me. And there's also queen h5 here. So what about like, I don't know, if I played like queen g5? No, but then queen g5 I can never play king f7 because of queen h7. Is uncomfortable. So I don't know when. Hey, king f7 instead of rook f8. Right, yeah, this moment, yeah. Queen h5 is a bit annoying. And you do a big shuffle. That's really funny. So maybe it is. Yeah, maybe this is actually the way to go. Yeah. Looks like the tables turn very, very fast. But bishop h4 maybe is a bit more concerning. And yeah, things might get a little hairy for your king. I don't think it's completely clear. You see there's just 2 moves for -3 and then suddenly like it's actually equalizing more. Like queen f5 stuff. So I think I made the right call to just basically play with the king on g8 and not waste any time. Although, okay, in this position, I did mess up with my f2. So maybe like rook f6 or, yeah, these moves make a lot of sense. But yeah, I'm gonna get some sleep. I will turn the ad block back on and see you guys on Friday for some more training. Okay, see you around, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.